Bodhidharma do? Bodhidharma was born a prince in the Pallava kingdom in South India. He was the son of the king of Kanchipuram, but at an early age, he left his kingdom and princehood and became a monk. At the age of 22 he was fully enlightened, and that was when he was sent as a messenger to China. The moment the news of his arrival came, Emperor Wu himself came to the borders of his empire and set up a huge reception and waited. When these monks came, weary from the long travel, Emperor Wu looked at the two of them and was greatly disappointed. He was told that an enlightened being would be coming and was expecting something, but this was a mere boy of 22 years. Worn by the travel of a few months in the mountains, Bodhidharma was really not looking very impressive. The emperor was disappointed, but he contained his disappointment and welcomed the two monks. He invited them into his camp and offered them a seat and food. Then, at the first opportunity he got, Emperor Wu asked Bodhidharma, "Can I ask you a question?" Bodhidharma said, "By all means." Emperor Wu asked, "What is the source of this creation?" Bodhidharma looked at him, laughed, and said, "What kind of foolish question is that? Ask something else." Emperor Wu was extremely offended. He had a whole list of questions to ask Bodhidharma, questions that he thought were deep and profound. He had held many debates and discussions about this particular question, and now this fool of a boy who came from nowhere just dismissed it as a foolish question. He was offended and angry, but he contained himself and said, "Okay, I will ask you a second question. What is the source of my existence?" Now Bodhidharma laughed even louder and said, "This is an utterly stupid question. Ask something else." If the emperor had asked about the weather in India, or about Bodhidharma's health, Bodhidharma would have answered. But this man was asking, "What is the source of creation? What is the source of who I am?" He brushed this off. Now Emperor Wu became really angry, but he contained himself and asked the third question. He made a list of all the good things that he had done in his life, how many people he had fed, how many things he had done, all the charity that he had given, and finally he said, "To spread the Dharma, to spread Buddha's message, I have built so many meditation halls, hundreds of gardens, and trained thousands of translators. I have made all these arrangements. Will I get mukti?" Now Bodhidharma became serious. He stood up and glared down at the emperor with his huge big eyes and said, "What? You? Mukti? You will burn in the seventh hell." What he meant was, according to the Buddhist way of life, there are 7 layers of the mind. Instead of just doing what is needed, if a man does something and then keeps accounts of it, how much I have done for somebody, he is in the lowest level of the mind, and he will inevitably suffer because he is expecting people to be nice to him in return for his deeds. If they are not nice to him, he will be mentally tortured and it will be a 7th hell. But Emperor Wu did not understand any of this. He flew into a rage and threw Bodhidharma out of his empire. For Bodhidharma, it made no difference, in or out. It doesn't matter whether it is a kingdom or a mountain, he carried on with his journey. But Emperor Wu missed the only opportunity of his life.